mid-lane champion pool. And so the red side becomes so much more important as far as the counter pick for Xiaohu and trying to guarantee that. Flandre has been so transparent with these top lane picks. Yes, the Graves has been so versatile for him, but
Lee Sin is up. I gotta point it out before it gets first pick. Lee Sin has finally been left up. They're trying to pinch AD carries with the Aphelios span.
Oh, wow.
Ryze is still the pick. Lee Sin and Misfortune are up for the taking.
Yeah, I would expect RNG to go for it, but I just want to hit on that Ryze pick real quick because Scout was the MVP of the LPL finals. This is the person who has to step up for EDG if they're going to take this.
I want to hit on the fact that wars are being fought over Cryan's champion pool, and they added the Annie to the ban list, Freak.
Yep.
That is such a huge dub for Cryan and for RNG.
But where do you
It
go
is
now,
insane.
Kobe? Where do you go now? Everything's gone.
I mean, they take out the Twisted Fate, the Galio, the Ryze, the Annie. What roamer do you have left?
Lissandra is not bad. Malzahar can have push if you want to go for options
not
there.
sold on the Malzahar one. I have watched LPL games from this season where Malzahar ulted and Olaf with Ragnarok already on. That one I do not want to see again.
Yikes.
Lissandra definitely could be an answer into Ryze, but has trouble with the early move.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like you'll get pushed in.
Yeah.
Something you can think about maybe would be a Syndra, and at least you have Prio, but not something Cryan has played all too much. And now we're going to be looking at what EDG want to do in response. Like you said, Freak, the Yuumi is open, and I really do feel like Ezreal is the most feared pick for Viper, because you don't necessarily need to rely on the team playing around him. Viper has all the tools to protect himself, and if he's hitting skill shots, he's putting out massive damage.
Ezreal Yuumi won back in game 3, I believe it was. The Annie couldn't quite get it all done despite landing stuns. Actually, it might have been game 2, but Nautilus is going to be the answer. This one changes it slightly. Nautilus generally favored, but Ezreal can buck the hooks.
No hesitation from Ming either right there. He's saying, yes, we are going to get the kills on this bottom lane. We are going to force the engages. What we got in trade for taking the 2-hit champion hit on Cryan's champion pool was the Lee Sin. The priority here on this jungler, so versatile in how you can approach the lanes. If you combine that with a Nautilus, kill lane into bottom lane, yeah, that's definitely an opening they're going to try and look for.
And, I mean, you saw how much EDG tried to get done with bans, right? Not only did they ban a bunch of champions, if you read the champions, they banned Gala. Gallia, Lucian, Annie, I mean, they did the best they could to get as much done with those bans. I had to.
Kind of, if you switch it around.
No, it's GA, and then an L, then an A.
Okay.
It's actually perfect. And now, yes, the Kennen. I mean, Xiaohu's Kennen was great. And as a champ, you can leave on an island who shows up and team fights well. It was so good in the last game. And again, the Graves, the Jace, they're being left up as options here for Flandre.
I just want to point out how much I love this Poppy ban coming through, not only having champions like the Lee Sin or the Nautilus to prevent that engage, but when you already have the Ezreal Yuumi, just taking away more disengage tools like that ultimate to allow Viper to play by himself and just completely take over a game, I feel like is so massive for the side of RNG.
There's the Malzahar. We get the ban anyway.
I can't believe they've thrown so many bans at Cryan. Sometimes the weakest link absorbing the most pressure in Champ Select, and they don't even care. They're like, you know what? Yeah, he's fine to go down to second pick here.
And I just want to see, because, right, they had the Annie surprise. I would expect they have something else, but no. This is historically his most played champion. This is what we've been expecting him to default to all day, and at least has a fine time in the lane against Ryze.
This is a completely different style of game, though. They won't be able to throw as much attention towards Xiaohu, towards the top side of the map. So maybe that means they actually double down towards kill lane on the Yuumi Ezreal on bottom side of the map. That is notorious, though. If you mess up the first play down there, if you are unsuccessful in converting versus the Ezreal Yuumi, then you have a lot of pain in store for you later in the game. Scales so well, the poke will come through. Meanwhile, on top side, Flandre will get his Graves that he's so comfortable on into any matchup, just trying to absorb, play the waves on top side.
I just love it, right? Flandre, if anything, is consistent with what he wants. We'll probably pick this one up. Now the question is, where do RNG go now? Because EDG banning away the Kennen that they did pick up last time and instantly going towards the Gwen for Xiaohu.
Wow, okay, that is a late game win condition if I've ever seen one.
Seems pretty rough early
yes.
to me. It definitely seems like EDG, this will be one of the games where they actually have tremendous priority in both solos very early on, which is not something that we've gone into a lot of the games with, is having that early priority for top triangle of the map. I want to see how they actually utilize that, because RNG are, like you're saying, Freak, throwing a lot more into the later stages of the game. Gwen scales like an absolute monster.
Yep.
Plus, they have so many team fighting tools here with the Nautilus, with the Orianna being able to combo. So early attention might be changed away from the top side like usual, down towards bottom side, and a little bit of a stalling tactics there till they can get and make use of those big AoE ultimates.
I feel like RNG got to be scared, because if there's one thing EDG know how to do well, it's play meticulously and close out with a lead. A lot of teams were so afraid of giving EDG these early prio matchups, because if they can get ahead, we've seen what they can do in this series.
Plus, EDG are saying, what can you do without so much roaming? Forcing Cryan through so many bans, 3 bans plus a first pick, to be able to push him all the way down to Orianna.
Well, time will tell how it's going to work. He is on a comfort champion, but not one they wanted to play in this series until bans forced their hand. Royal never give up have had EDG's number for 4 years straight. 10-1 in best of series. But now it comes down to a single game. Royal has gone to the World Finals twice before. They'd love to do it again and again and again. 2-time MSI champions. Would love to be the 3rd LPL team to hoist a trophy. EDG stand in their way, and in so doing, would make their first ever World Championship semifinal. And I want to see if it can happen. Nautilus in the bot lane is where I'm spending most of my effort. The bot lane has determined who has won this game, every game so far.
I feel like, especially looking at the support matchup, right? Ming and Mako, 2 of the longest standing players in the LPL, always considered top supports as well. I'd say probably the highest profile rivalry we do have, especially in the support role. And then going to the opposite side of the map, we have Xiaohu, the long-standing member for RNG. Scout, who finals MVP in the LPL, doesn't seem like he's been able to have that impact and really take over a game by himself. That's what we're looking at this time, especially when they have the Ryze plus Jarvan combo.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe save for that previous Ryze game. Early invade there from Ming, though. They have not swapped over to any sweepers, so probably just will be information gathering.
Cryan playing full support. He's the one giving the ward out, like, all right, I'll ward the Raptor Pit. That's good enough for me. We'll probably track Jarvan with that kind of vision. Good enough. A deep ward by EDG will also spot Wei's start, so you can infer that Jarvan is soloing topside.
Yeah,
they actually know.
It's actually pretty interesting to have both the junglers starting top down to bottom, both of them looking to play around the Ezreal, Yuumi early, Fondre early health lead here in the lane. That's so good. 150 health chunk early.
Really nice read as well, right? Because Xiaohu going with the Ghost, signaling he's going to be playing more for team fights.
Out of experience range. This is why the early wards, deep wards onto buffs are so critical. You see the pull there? Gwen already is going to have no business stepping up, but the early health lead, good timing there on the barrier.
Oh, they rooted Yuumi. They don't have enough damage though, and that's forcing Summoner Heal to walk right back out. They know with EDG still having Exhaust and Heal, follow through is not possible.
And you like all the effort that went into EDG trying to protect on bottom side. They went full defensive summoners, barrier plus the exhaust heal here. They want to punish.
And yeah, even though you can block the skill shots, Viper getting to land auto attacks is enough! Ming is 1 hit from dead!
They have been so good when left alone. Some of the lowest jungle proximity for most of these bottom lanes, and yet so successful. JJ?
Dropping through, sharing XP.
Look at the mini-map, though. Right now, Wei hovering around bot side. Not sure if they're actually trying to bait out a play or not.
Looking for the play with Wei, but it hits the minion. He's got a shield, flashes to find the stun. Is that enough to kill? It's 1, and Mako could not possibly leave. Wei is here on time, and there's no Jarvan to be seen. They're gonna get Wei the 2nd kill, and RNG are winning bot lane.
That's what you're looking for from the draft. The Lee Sin plus the Nautilus, the early gank towards bottom layer.
Even the wave right now in such a good position for Gala to be able to pick this one up, though EDG looking to punish. JJ able to walk in his pretty much full HP.
Man, you also just got a feel for Viper and Mako. Just slamming bottom lane off of the dodging on skill shots there. Just hammering it, getting such a good lead. And yet, just as the words come out of our mouths about the low jungle proximity difference, even with the early lead that they got, with Lee Sin down there. You know, Ming kind of
Arcane Shift
takes them in. Arcane's just forward. Yes, they do get Ming, but because they committed for the kill there, will be the 2-for-1.
I also just love the fact that we've seen throughout the series that Ming understands his role, that he knows he's going to die in this play 100%. It doesn't matter. He knows the other members will be able to clean it up. The wave's in a favorable position. His carriers will get the kills. So Ming just delivering on knowing his job as a facilitator.
But now I wonder, I mean, Viper's got to keep his head up, though, because that Arcane Shift is what caused a double kill, right? You are in game 5. This is elimination, and you caused this death. You didn't track the Lee Sin well enough, didn't think he might be there in time. Arcane Shifts right into a Nautilus, and suddenly it's going pear-shaped. But that said, the gold is close. Top lane, big lead. Jungle, out farming. 7K for 6.8. EDG are not out of this game by any means.
Calling for jungle as well after a play like that, where you know bottom lane are frustrated after, you know, outplaying 2v2, and yet jungle difference equalizes a lot due to the frustrations of a lot of players. Let's see about the ramifications of this, though. Okay, so with the extra kills going over to the side of Gala here, remember that when Mako jumped off, he's the one who actually got the kill there for the side of EDG. That money did not go into Viper's pockets, and so he's stuck on just the Doran's Blade and Tier. Not a lot of extra damage coming through here will lessen a lot of this poke.
Yeah, I mean, even looking at jungle, right? Wei already having his Iron Spike whip as compared to a pickaxe on the opposite side. So when you look at RNG's draft, you already knew they'd be looking for these bottom side focused, either ganks or even 3v3s. That is where Nautilus will completely outperform Yuumi in the early game. But now even having the stronger jungler as well, for RNG, I feel like you just keep doing this. Just keep full clearing towards the bottom half of the map, pushing out through there. If you can find the ganks, cool. If not, turn that to a dragon, turn that to trying to help alleviate pressure from crying in the mid lane. And that just gives you so many options on the map.
I like the quick swap over to top side there as well for a brief second to remind us of how Flandre was able to get, you know, this 150 health lead, and zoning Xiaohu out of experience of the first couple melees, by the way, forced him to sit under turret, out of experience rates, and yet Xiaohu still caught right back up in CS. That to me is impressive. With so much of the camera time spent down on bottom side, for the Gwen to have that strong early CSing and being able to recover like that.
Down 3 CS as they mirror teleport, so okay, some lifesteal, a couple of long swords. Flandre on his way to shield bow or eclipse, could go either way, but certainly going to be, you know, pretty pressuring. But a second Doran's Venom comes in and a blasting wand, and Xiaohu will try to keep fighting for the farm. The TP difference won't be too big, but EDG do have bot lane pressure. JJ able to grab the first dragon of the game, and very early on. This can certainly matter. As time ticks on, EDG get rid of more vision.
Yeah, and you can see that RNG were expecting some kind of aggressive play bot. Maybe they were thinking a dive was coming through because Wei was actually hovering underneath the turret. They saw that Scout had moves, so not too concerned about the dragon. We are going to see Wei just wrap around right now. Maybe just keep hammering home on the bottom lane is what they want to do. Viper still doesn't have flash for maybe 20, 30 more seconds, so the potential is there.
The better item spike. Iron Spike whip is going to be better than a pickaxe. Looking towards the bottom lane, Viper flash up in about 20 seconds. This is the last time they get a chance to do it. JJ going to see him. Oh, that's going to miss. He's got a ward hop away to stay alive with a flash to find the knockup. JJ is perfect, and he finds the kill. Yuumi here for the heals as well, and here comes Scout. Will it be a flash route? Will they knock down Ming? It is, and will the damage land? Not quite. Auto's not enough. Shockwave only hits Viper. Good sidestep by Scout.
Wei's got to know that blowing that Scryer's Bloom gives away your position, and EDG, Viper, the confidence of this man, they just stay fully pushed up in lane, well knowing that this is going to be a wraparound from Wei, daring him to come for it, and that sidesteps on the Q right before Arcane shifting over, and the confidence. JJ follows with the EQ flash with Jarvan for the knockup. He's got to know that his position was revealed blowing the plant, and they think they can outplay. Oh, doesn't hit it.
Yeah, so close, but not able to do it. Really nice turn, JJ flashing from the EQ combo to be able to secure that kill. Even Scout has a Realm Warp, so he's able to follow up, but we got some action on the top side.
Yeah, it's going to be a knockup. JJ is in a 2v2. The flash in away will not be stopped. But hold on, because Viper and Mako are here. We heard Rift Herald spawning in 2 seconds, so the squad has arrived, and Cryin is forced to run away. He's got the distance, he's got a bit of move speed, and he's got Ming in his back pocket, but they are on a ward. Flandre may keep chasing, will not get the chance to. And once again, EDG coming out ahead.
Meanwhile, with the top wave building, that's all they're going to be able to push in. EDG, huge victory over the map. Early on, very long travel time compared to death timer time. So everybody should be able to get there pretty quickly as the Rift Herald takes a while to finish.
Link's the level 5, so no ulti available. Viper gonna knock down the ward. This will be the first Herald of the game claimed easily by Edward Gaming. Gotten low, there's the smite, and there's the grab. Gold lead right now is 700. This will grow to at least 1,000 with the Herald charge. Right now, only one turret has lost a plate.
Right, I mean, even the state of the map, being in a decent place, Wave in a nice spot for Viper to go catch down in the bottom side, and RNG really having no way to answer. Looks like they might try and push into topside jungle. They've pushed in top, and Ming's still waiting around, but no real objective to convert.
I will say one of the reasons that Viper and Mako were there first for that play is sacrificing the wave on bottom side. Gala finished up pushing it in. That's why he's pushing back now towards them. So Gala got the extra wave of money, but EDG got the extra play and got the bigger value ticket item here with the Rift Herald play. That's an early sacrifice, though, with the bottom lane moving.
Yeah, Gala, I was completely wrong. Gala being able to catch the wave, nice job from him. But so hopefully that can even out. We're going to have to see what EDG are able to do with the Herald themselves. Wei, though.
Almost a 1v4. Jijia does have his ulti. Wei doesn't have flash, so it's a dunk. The kick will not matter. That is a kill picked up. Wei sadly too far up with no pressure in his lanes.
And we've seen now Viper and Mako being a consistent duo moving around the map together. They didn't really have a wave to answer, able to just easily move back up and look for that kill. So EDG just finding the small win so far. Gold's still pretty close. EDG only about 1K ahead, and we're waiting to see the big explosion come out from RNG. Though we did point out RNG's comp definitely indexed more into scaling with the Orianna and the Gwen.
EDG taking advantage of these early moves. Since the first play, it has been much more well coordinated on the side of EDG. Using information, Scryer's plant popped. Okay, set up the counter here, finish up your Krugs, come through with the flash for the EQ, win that play. Then early rotate bottom. We'll sack a wave, make the play up on top side for the Rift Herald. Then punishment on Wei. He's trying to solo invade for vision. That, as Keijo would say, is illegal. You cannot go without the support. You cannot go without the mid prio. Gets appropriately punished there, and EDG have really cleaned this one up.
And ever since then, EDG being on the front foot, Scout now just able to continuously push out top and push out mid and hover towards top side. Will put Xiao under threat when Flandre is in the lane, but RNG wanted to keep nailing down on this win condition of bot side. Scout does have TP though.
Viper entirely alone, but double summoners up and the Yuumi on the way. They're not going to get much done here. A little bit of poke if nothing else. Wei still waiting. Arcane Shift down. Nautilus could have ulted that and they could have hard forced the dive, but not going to make that play. TP down on both solo laners means there's no reinforcements, and now EDG are headed top side. They would love to get Flandre ahead of the 1v1 and prevent any options. Viper could stop recalls, Ult could do it, whatever he wants, and here's the summon, and that turret is dying in the top lane.
EDG just doing a really nice job of converting their pressure, not leaving any openings up on the map now for them. Flandre will be unlocked, can start looking to make roams across the map. The thing is, if you can't find anything, we've seen many times, top laners can try and freeze and come back in, but RNG looking for their own play.
I think it'd be very risky for RNG right now because of the timings of your teleports. Flandre's is back up and is pushing on top side, so his wave is in a great spot. He could join, plus Scout has Realm Orb and teleport ready. So EDG are in the position of power right now, daring RNG to answer their extra pressure. And I think it's a good call for RNG to just take the dragon. That is your consolation prize for the topside focus and tower on the side of EDG.
Nice little jump back by Flandre, but loses his recall. That said, temporary level lead as they have pushed an extra wave up there.
This also goes back to what we were hitting on in draft and before the game about EDG having these winning and pushing lanes, is that this is where EDG thrive in terms of just being able to meticulously control the game, where it's like, hey, we don't need to force fights because we can always move first. We're going to get the objective. If you run into us, we will win anyway. And then they can start to slowly choke you out, which is what they've been doing the whole time. For RNG at this point, it feels like you're playing more defensive. You're going to be looking to cross map, keep control of your own camps, scale up to a point to where Orianna and Gwen can start dealing some damage.
Yeah, as talked about for Chet Select, it was always part of RNG's game plan to sack some early game pressure top side and focus more on that bottom side. So Gala, to their credit, has been able to eat up the extra minion waves. They have been able to secure themselves at least one of these dragons to put a stop of some early game roll from EDG, and even taking up some of these jungle camps. Wow.
Oh, spotted. Gala is alone. That's an easy smite. The flash is followed with the dunk, and Gala is gonna get sniped by Viper.
Ah, the one part that was getting money. Oh no, it all comes crashing down. Jijia says, hands off that jungle camp.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised Gala flashed, knowing that he's up against a Jarvan would be able to follow up.
I think it's nerves.
Wait, yeah, I mean, it is a game 5, right? Everything is on the line in this series, so
it's so
mistake coming out.
It's so hard to resign yourself to death. That to me is just so much frustration.
Yep.
Where he's just like, oh, I can flash the EQ, and then yes, you're still dead, but
yep.
You have to give up on that play. Sunk cost fallacy there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to resign yourself to death. Meanwhile, though, EDG are just swimming in it right now. With this side of the map winning as well off of that well-timed invade to find the farming misfortune. Guess what? You've got a bounty on the Ezreal, even with so much focus on top side and taking the turret.
We're going to go straight into seeing, and I mean, yeah, Gala just here instantly flashes, probably is the pressure nerves coming out. We're going to get a cool replay of Viper's ultimate, and there we go.
Viper Sniper gets himself a kill. Where he goes, so goes EDG. That was a nice play. A good pickup, and you can see the gold difference, 2,000. Dragons tied. Edward Gaming, their first ever World Championship semifinal on the line, and they are winning in the climactic Game 5.
And you can see how EDG are doing this. You have Flandre push out top, go and cover mid, Scout immediately going down towards bot side, and the play's coming out.
Okay, TP's coming in. There's the first knockup. Gala trying to kite. He's rooted, and he's going to drop. Bullet time hits 2 waves. A 2 for 0 so far. Xiaohu not going to find anything as the shockwave hits nothing at all. And here comes Yuumi healing up Scout. Will he die? The heals in yet again. Thank you, Moonstone Renewer. And they do not have the damage. It's 3 unanswered. It's 4 unanswered. It is RNG left, crying alone as their hopes dwindle before their very eyes. Orianna will die. They are aced off the map, and EDG are up 5,000 gold.
It goes to bad. The worst for RNG Freak. That was a beautiful one with crying being left alone, and it's just that. Lyric, this one is snowballing out of control.
And they found the answer. It was ban Annie all along, and RNG now having no way of pushing forward. They try to swap it up. They try to bring out this more late game team fight oriented comp. We talked about it. Flandre was covering mid. Scout is already here, instantly chaining with the TP coming out from Flandre. JJ going straight onto Gala, who is rooted. Sure, Ming tries to stun and CC Scout, but it doesn't mean anything, who then flashes the Oriole. And I mean, at this point, EDG just have everything. Xiaohu tries to TP in and take advantage of this with his ultimate, but he's only focusing on Scout. Viper and Flandre were free hitting on the opposite side of the fight the whole time, and then Krine tries to get away, but just so much follow-up coming out from the Yuumi.
I cannot get enough of these fights, too. The stopwatch perfect time. That one bought up by Jarvan. Got so much space. Yuumi hopping over to heal as well, so they don't even drop a member, dropping any gold back in the hands of RNG. Nicely executed there, and just look at the mountain they've created for themselves.
No, they're gonna keep climbing it. Or will they find a way to fall? RNG have team fought well from ahead and from behind. Wei is in danger. Wei will die. JJ here to chase in onto Ming, forcing that flash, but Scout is here as well. A nice acrobatics, but it will not matter. That'll be 2 kills again, unanswered. EDG 7 in a row.
And now for EDG, gonna be able to take this mid lane turret. They can even keep pushing forward, probably get a second charge off, get some wards down in enemy jungle, take Dragon. They're just gonna get everything on the map for this.
Lane charge comes in, won't kill the turret, but it's gonna get low. Second Dragon claimed as well. If they want, they're on pace for a sub 28-minute Infernal Soul. That's not too bad. Xiaohu gonna get some turret damage. He does play the side lanes, he does get the farm, but that turret's still not dead, and though he feels comfortable in the 1v1, he's down to level in it.
It's incredibly difficult in this situation for RNG to remain focused, but they have to do that. These are the moments where you have to try and just rally around, okay guys, farm for late, control our defensive vision through our jungle, try and keep up our gold income while we wait for our opening for our team fight. We have Gwen trying to scale up this team fight. Ming, when you see someone out of position, throw the Hail Mary, throw for the engage. This is not it. They don't have any deep vision, no exposed members. You have to be patient when you're trying to forge a comeback out of a situation like this.
I think patience is the perfect word. RNG are going to need to switch off the LPL side of their brain of like, hey, we're this far behind, like just keep looking for picks, keep going in. It's like, no, when you have an early game comp, I get it. Keep flipping it, keep going for the Hail Marys, but you do have scaling on your side. It's about turtling, it's about getting defensive vision down, protecting your camps, and living to fight for another day.
One of the problems is It's a little bit facetious because you're playing into the Ezreal, Yuumi, and Ryan side lanes, but you have to tell yourself that just for the mental, for the team, you know, keep your morale up, try and focus it, and hope that you'll find a better opening, a better situation to take advantage of later on. Otherwise, admitting defeat is not an option.
Oh, well, Ming's looking for it.
Okay, this could be it. Teleport is ready.
Is going to thin out. Ming is going to force a flash with his engage. I am a little surprised we didn't see a bullet time, as EDG were somewhat grouped up. It would have been a couple hundred damage, but it is now top lane under fire. Scout safely putting down turret damage. Jidjit is right behind him, and that turret's getting quite low up here.
I'm actually surprised that Flandre even committed flash so early, considering Cryan had just been showing on the bottom wave as well. Maybe fearing that bullet time could just come out, instantly take him down, but I feel like any extended fight that would have happened, EDG actually probably would have been in a fine position to take, but the respect is coming out again. Game 5, this pretty much a best of one. Decides everything if you keep going forward. If EDG, for the first time ever, make it to semifinals, all matters in this moment.
I mean, I am nervous for them because there's so much to make up here on the side of EDG. Yeah, we say that, hey, both these teams are MSI champions, but guess what? EDG's was back in 2015, the first one ever, so long ago.
Yep, and Mako's been a part of all of those. He missed a Worlds with EDG, but this is his entire career was on this team. Ming, very similar boat with RNG, just starting 1 year later. These two have fought each other pretty much every step of the way. For virtually the entire history of these organizations, those two have met each other in the bottom lane. In recent history, Ming has been in control of it, but Mako may be getting the better. With Viper here this year, they hadn't won yet, but this might be the most important one here at the World Championship. A huge lead, 6,000 gold, 2 minutes away from their third dragon.
And I kind of like what EDG are doing here. Because they have such a big gold advantage, they just keep Scout with them, waiting for his teleport cooldown before committing to any sort of split push, retaining the vision leading up to this blue side, up to this dragon, and trying to pressure RNG. Wei's in position for a big kick, though.
Andre going to find himself doing a bit of damage. Xiao, who of course does not have flash, has to hold on to the jump to keep herself safe.
And now that teleport cooldown is coming off, they send Scout up to split push. Get that side wave pushing. Lying in wait this entire time, he finally gets scouted out.
Yep. It's something that EDG have been doing really well so far, right? Is controlling the side waves, even Flandre the whole time. RNG were losing side waves when they were just looking for that siege down in mid, and they're fine taking it so dragging up in 1 minute. That's what EDG are looking for.
It takes so much discipline to pull this type of play off in the best of 5. Last game here. Uh-oh.
He's got a team to jump to, so lands the smite, he's going to be okay. Some of the bleeding has still stopped, but we take the final resets. When you see that timer hit 1 minute, you better have been hitting the recall button. Show up with 40 seconds to spare, 45 seconds to spare, and get yourself onto the river. Take the vision, and it's just one more way for EDG to secure the game is get on soul point.
And look at that. They're even trying to cut off any comeback potential. You see the blue pings from EDG down onto Baron? Just put one ward on that. Just make sure that they don't sneak Baron while we're setting up opposite side of the map. That is how desperate they think RNG are getting. A sneak Baron, one of those possible miraculous comebacks.
Yeah.
And when RNG's comp is completely based on burst, you look at the items. Okay, we have 2 stopwatches already built. We have a Zhonya's. We even have the Guardian Angel done for JJ. I mean, you survived that first combo coming out from RNG, and EDG definitely win the elongated fight with the DPS coming out from Ezreal and Ryze.
But they brought Xiaohu down. RNG are going to take the fight. They're not going for the cross map. They're sacrificing top wave entirely. That turret's going to maybe die just to minions. The play is instead to fight for this dragon, but Wei is at half health. Viper jumps in for more poke, and RNG run away from the fight they wanted.
When you get poked out like that early versus the Yuumi, you know you can't sustain any sort of fight. With the extra healing on their side, with the extra poke coming through, RNG have been routed away from their own turrets.
Yeah, Xiaohu, though, seems like RNG still know that they're pretty desperate. They need to find something. EDG returning to go take Dragon. They're probably still fine to do it, but RNG now will be able to retake vision on top side of the map.
Easy call now for EDG. Should be solo on the Dragon. Just keep everybody else to take control of the Baron vision. It's been cleared out by RNG. At least they'll make them check it, but you can easily solo Dragon. Graves has so much life steal, no problem.
Here we go. Dragon Soul Point. 28:05. The last elemental Drake of the game will spawn. EDG will likely claim it, and they will have Infernal Soul. RNG can force this. It's 5v4 for a moment, and no one's willing to go. Graves was seen in mid. Is RNG's maybe only chance in this game.
And the map has just continuously been set up for EDG. You look at side lanes once again, and they're still pushing in. EDG have prepped these plays. They get mid lane turret, they get Dragon. They even get their vision back topside that theoretically they were trading for to take Dragon. So EDG just slowly choking RNG out. RNG at least haven't presented any big openings in the past few minutes for EDG to find a fight they can snowball off of. But now we're on Soul Point. We're 4 minutes and 20 seconds away from a fight that RNG need to take.
The mental game of telling yourself, all right, farm for late, concede a little bit, farm for late. We'll find our opening. Don't worry, don't worry. It's been going for them. At least they're sticking to it. You re-ward up, leading to Baron. Dragon is off the table. 4 minutes you have. You bought yourself until the soul fight actually comes through. So plenty of wards invested by them leading up to the Baron. Try and make it as safe for yourself as possible to check the play.
Makes you wonder if EDG will play a bit more loose and look for a Baron bait and try to turn because they do have the Jarvan available and they are so far ahead.
Trying to look for the small comeback for RNG. You look at the double item completion here now for Gwen. Once you get Cosmic Drive, your cooldowns are so small, so you can chase people down very effectively, but Ming now is under attack.
Load anchors away, down to 800 health. This turret probably dying on this wave. EDG will grow their lead above 7,000. Viper needs one auto attack. Brian gonna zone him out. Threat of the shockwave now down as he command protects, and that means Viper can find the first one. Ult's gonna come out, the stun is well out of range though. Anchor's not gonna land either. Scout gonna be the target, kick flash. They will get a single kill. First a stopwatch, but Scout has to die here. He does. 750 gold to Xiaohu. And Flandre just pushing the bot lane. EDG makes the call not to take this fight. 5v3, is there a chase? No.
And I mean, they find the pick, but sadly they aren't able to convert it into anything. Heck, if anything, Viper is still playing so aggressively, knowing exactly what he could do. RNG find the pick. That is nice relief, but it really doesn't turn into anything. They still can't take the fight. They would have full control. And EDG just trying to poke this out, trying to siege him down. Nautilus ultimate immediately comes out onto Viper, but Viper gets away, just ease over the wall. They get onto Scout, Wei with a really nice kick into the team, but Wei's caught out.
And Wei will die. The true shot barrage lands, and it's time to go for Baron. Another smite that Wei will not get in the Baron pit.
Yep, Scout has teleport, so he's gonna teleport right on over. 5v4, only a miraculous ability steal could pull it off.
Bullet time it out. 650, easy, guaranteed smite. And Baron is claimed. The gold lead now 9,000, and EDG will have this Baron buff during the Dragon Soul fight.
JJ has just been on point with the smites today, isn't gonna lose it to a bullet time. And now we're gonna get onto the map where EDG's map play this time around has actually been very good, which was one of the flaws of their previous games, especially with the split push coming out from Flandre. So they've cleaned it up. They now have Baron. They have side lane pressure coming out from both Flandre and Scout. Scout even has the Realm Warp up. Does look like they might just continue to play out through 2 lanes, though, to not present a scenario where RNG can try to engage with a numbers advantage, knowing that they have the Siege with Viper to just lock down these inhibitor turrets.
And I have to say, I love your point about Viper playing aggressively because I don't often like to see Ezreal Yuumi, but when I do, I want them to arcane shift forward. I want them to play aggressively. I want them to try and get every little bit of poke damage out. And he has definitely been playing on the edge.
Blast Plant puts him pretty safe, though. Ming can be the jump target for the safeguard as well. That's going to be all right. True shot barrage again for poke. This one not going to land. Splits the uprights, 3 points to Viper, and now we're going to find bot lane tier 2 under fire. Red Bull Baron power play about to read 2,000 up there as side lane turrets are worth a lot of gold. Xiaohu finishes his 3rd item with the Morellonomicon. Enemy Siege now at the inhibitor turret.
All right, when are they going to break? When have RNG had enough? When are they going to go for the all-in team fight? Xiaohu is on his 3-item power spike. Close to level 16, would love to squeeze it out, but EDG aren't going to let him have it. 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the Baron means the siege continues. You see Ryze ushering up those minions through mid. Realm Warp is ready, so he can easily join if the commitment from RNG goes.
I just wonder what RNG are waiting for. EDG can just keep up the siege. Infernal Drake about to come up, so going for any type of crazy fight.
Flash knockup. Xiaohu could drop. The dunk is in. He barely lives, but they still find a 1 for nothing. That is a kill on Way. True shot barrage might almost hit. It's close. Bullet time comes across, but it's not going to be enough. Instead, it is time to die. It's a 2-0. EDG diving into the base. Flandre brings a stopwatch. Viper Arcane shifts forwards. Flandre is the target, but Xiaohu is the death, and the same goes through for Gala. One man left alive, crying as RNG's hopes at a world title fall. EDG, it took them 6 attempts, but this time they will knock down RNG. This time, EDG won it all. This team, EDG, are headed to the semifinals.
And it is on this day that EDG will finally break that world's curse. That must feel so incredibly good for this team and this organization.
Especially finding a win against their longtime rival in RNG. We've been hitting on it all day. 10-1 for RNG the past few years. EDG get one back, and they get it back in the highest pressure moment you could in life or death at Worlds. And it feels like so many members stepping up, but Viper especially, they put faith in him in this series, and he delivered.
The LPL Summer Split champions are still alive, and they now remain the only hope of the LPL at Worlds. Maybe bittersweet to knock down your countrymen, but you're top 4 at Worlds, and you're waiting for that Gen G Cloud9 match. You say, that looks winnable. That looks like a trip to the World Finals, and that's your road.
I think it is fitting for all of the support of the LPL to now be funneled into EDG. After all this time, finally being focused here and them being set up to reward the entire league.
I think especially when you look at the roster, they clearly tried to build this quote-unquote super team of bringing in people like Flandre, who are always touted over the years in the LPL, bringing in Viper, who doesn't need any introduction from his Griffin years, and finally being able to put things together. JJ for a long time viewed as the weak link, was the weakness in the LPL, came to Worlds, and this has by far been the best performances he's been putting up of his whole career.
Just good to see him happy. Walking around, they finally did it. Just happy to see him win, happy to see him enjoy the moment. It is going to be sad to say goodbye to Royal Never Give Up. Sadly, their hope at Worlds is over, but we now can rest on EDG for making history and making that semifinal. Now, the day